Hello, everybody. This is Maurice Thompson. I wanted to talk about the video yearbook and how it came to pass towards the very end. Um, I'm just going to open it up to some questions and, you know, try to answer as best I can. Try to make this short, sweet, and make sure that no one's, no one misses out on anything that I need to say. So, start with you.
Can you tell us a story about what happened with getting the video yearbooks out to everybody before the end of school?
I don't know if everyone heard what you said. The question was, what was the story about getting the video yearbook out before the end of the school year? We were told at the very beginning of the production class that our yearbook was going to be screened because a couple years back, the production company that did the video yearbook, that class of 86 or 87, I don't remember which, had put like stuff on the yearbook, like people smoking and drinking and doing all sorts of crazy stuff that technically, to the school's point of view, made them look like they didn't care or they were just reckless. Personally, I don't see what the big problem is, what the big deal was, but we were told, actually, we were told, and then we completely forgot that we had to have it screened at the end of the school year. So I had production first semester along with Paul Arello and Paul Geiger. Paul Geiger was in a different class, but Paul Arello was in my class. And the three of us kind of melded together, meshed together. We worked together as a team really, really well. And Mr. Nappy, who was the head of the production, the teacher, had said, understand this. When it comes down to the end of it, the three main people that work and get anything done production wise on television or what have you is the editor, the director, and the producer. Paul Arello would be the editor, Paul Geiger would be the director, and you, Maurice, would be the producer. Now, everyone knows what the editor does for the most part. They cut up what's good, what's not. They make sure it all gets put together and looks nice. Director makes sure that everything is in order, looks great, comes off great. It's basically his baby. And my end of it was to take care of any problems that would come up, whether a broken camera, someone didn't get their something didn't get done on time, uh, productions, problems with getting it out to who needs to see it, getting it's basically you are the fixer. The best thing I can say is I was the Olivia Pope of the video yearbook. Any problems that would come up, I took care of it, and I got to put my name on it at the bottom of it at the very end. Um, so for the school year, for the most of the school year, it was a lot of fun. I mean, we got to take the cameras out. We had to go to all the different venues, all the sports venues, the you know the the student follies, all everything that can be done was done. We had videos of all around the Huntington. It really was a great time to be a part of that classroom because it was fun and you were learning something, learning how to edit, how to direct, and how to make a video. Um, so come around May, I'd say they remind us that this has to be shown in front of the teachers. One teacher, one representative from each of the major departments. For example, somebody from foreign language, someone from the math department, someone from the English department, someone from social studies. All of them had to come and see this video. Um, Everyone that was a part of the classroom from the first semester and the second semester had a chance to have their stuff put on the video. It was, I believe, not I believe, I know. It was Paul Arello and Paul Geiger who decided what got in and what came out. And basically, I was just there as the backup to say, yeah, this is a good idea. This is a bad idea. Maybe put this here, maybe put that there. I mean, I was there support wise as far as you can go, and I supported this project the whole way, and I stood behind it at the final end. When we had to show it in front of the teachers, we weren't nervous. We liked what we did, and what we did was pretty good. Until we saw the reactions of the teachers that were there. And it's basically they were just being it was like watching a dog being shown a card trick. Dog would just sit there and look at you for like 1 minute and then run off to pee on your end of the sofa. They didn't want to be there. But a couple of them were there and they had notes and they wanted stuff cut. And I was listening to what they wanted cut and I was fuming. Paul Geiger was fuming, but we didn't say a word at the time. So after they had left, Mr. Nappy was handed notes by a couple of the teachers. I'm not even going to mention the teachers that were there, but the 2 or 3 of them that had written these little notes, they wanted us, they said, this is not going to go out to the students until this is cut, that's cut, this is moved, that's taken out, this is all this stuff, and I mean really silly stuff. For example, the hometown video. They wanted that 3 second image, the 3 second section where it shows the images strip club. They wanted that out because we can't be associated with a strip club. And they wanted the part with Paris, New York, that was on Jericho Turnpike. They wanted that taken out too. Who cares? It's part of Huntington. It's not like we're being sponsored by them. It's part of Huntington. Let it go. They wanted it out. The cheerleaders. Some of these shots, they had too many shots of the cheerleaders. They were too close, and I was like, "What? What are you talking about? The cheerleaders. We don't care. We're not, we're not, some 68-year-old guy sitting in the basement. But they're our friends. No, there has to be either cut out or edited or zoomed out. Okay. And this went on. They had about 12 things they wanted us to cut. It was the stupidest things you ever heard. And they were adamant. If this isn't done, we're not going to put out your yearbook. So we were like, I take the piece of paper and I look at it. Now, Mr. Nappy's already left the room, and we're just sitting in the back of the classroom like 2 idiots, me and Paul Geiger. And I'm looking at him like, we don't have time to get all this crap done. It's not that we don't have time, it's just I don't feel like doing it. I hand it over to Paul. Paul looks at it for maybe 10 seconds, and I think he came up with the great idea that if I bowl this up and eat it, we don't have to do it. So that's exactly what he did. He ate the paper that had all the notes to it, and we didn't know what to do with it. Actually, what had happened after that, they were supposed to come back. The teachers that were there the first time were supposed to come back and let them and see the second version of it, the point version 2. And one of the kids from, I don't know, the main office was supposed to send out a letter or something to put in their little mailboxes to say that we're going to do the production again. We're going to screen it again on this such and such a date. Now, apparently, the ones that were there before that had all the criticism there, they just wanted to just have something to talk about, because of the 9 that they were supposed to be there, 2 showed up to see the screening the second time. The 2 that showed up were Mr. Martin from the guidance department and Mr. Whitfield, who was basically Mr. Wildcat back in the day, who was the king of no fucks given, who just wanted us to get it done and be happy with what we got. So we showed it to him. Basically, it was the same version one with, we maybe took one thing out that so they didn't like, and then just pushed the rest off as for us. And they were like, "Yeah, this looks good." I'm like, "Yeah, thank you. We'll take it from here." So basically, before we had sent it out to the video company, there was an issue. I do remember somebody bringing it up, and I figured I should address it now. They were saying, "Why wasn't I in the video yearbook? Or why didn't you put me in the yearbook?" Um, I'll answer that with this: we were everywhere with our cameras for the video yearbook, and I do mean we were in the cafeteria, we were in the gym, we were outside, we were at the games, we were at the rallies, we were at the events. Everything was done to get everybody in the yearbook somehow, some way. We really try to do the best we can. But there were times when people would see our cameras and they would run the other way. They didn't want to say, "Oh, don't take a picture of me." And I'm like, "Okay, we won't. If you don't want to be on it, we don't keep you on it." Um, it's amazing because Paul had such a memory on him. When he saw someone that didn't want to be in the yearbook, he made sure that he was not in the yearbook at all. When he saw footage of someone that didn't want to be in there, he made sure that person wasn't in there anymore. Because we didn't want to have any problems with it afterwards. Say, "Well, why did you show me this? Why did you show me a picture of me looking like..." We don't have time for your nonsense with that. We wanted to get it out. So that's the reason why some people were in it more prominently. In other words, not so much. Um, the other side about getting people in and off the yearbook, the video yearbook, this I'm going to say, and you can be ashamed of it. I could be ashamed of it, and in a way I kind of am, because I was just bitter at the time. The people that were doing the traditional yearbook wanted to see our copy of it because, quote unquote, they didn't want to overlap with anything that we did so much as far as what they were doing. I think the advisor was Mr. Smith, and he had sent somebody down to get a copy of the yearbook. I said, we don't want to do that unless you show us a copy of the regular yearbook. And so they were like, "Okay, sure, great." So we get a copy of the yearbook, and I remember it's me, Paul Geiger, and Paul Arello, and we're looking through the yearbook, and we're at the sections where, the winter activities, the fall activities, the spring activities, and all the other clubs and things are in the yearbook. Now, there's a nice big picture of Paul Arello with his guitar at the Student Follies with his Monty Python t-shirt, looking good, great picture. Another one of Paul Geiger. He's in there, he's showing him doing the cross country running. Another great picture, prominent picture in the yearbook. And I'm looking to find something about the student court, which I was involved in. And Newsday had come and did a whole thing about us. We were in actual newspaper, and I only saw a little half shot, not even a half shot. I was off to the side in the shot. You can barely see my face. And instead of featuring the ones that were in the newspaper, they just got the beautiful people who were in the classroom. I think it was Kim Fontanatos and some other people. And the people that were trying to change things for the school with discipline and having student court become a real thing in the school never were mentioned. Never were mentioned. My name wasn't mentioned as a senior. Others weren't mentioned either. I was upset. I was upset because I made it a point to say, we got to get all the clubs, get something with the yearbook staff, and I'm sure they'll have something for us. They didn't, and turned out I don't know the reasons why or whatnot, but they decided not to put us in the yearbook. So we're like, okay. I was the most upset about it. I was the most riled about it. Paul and Paul were just, well, that's the way it goes. I said, well, here's how it's going to go for me. I'm doing another edit. After I got the copy back from the traditional yearbook guys, who just loved it because they were all in it, I went in and surreptitiously started taking people out, edited them right out like they didn't exist. And I just edited it out like they didn't exist. And after that, no one knew anything about it. Mr. Nappy was happy with what we had, and we sent it out to the distributor who got them back to us in timely manner. And we sold out what we had, and we did a great job, and we were proud of it. But it was something I'm ashamed of now that I think about it because it was so petty. I mean, I didn't put myself in the video yearbook a lot. I maybe in like two or three places, and maybe for a second or two after the sports segment. I I did not want to have the yearbook about me being I was producing it, so I just gave it to everybody else. Everyone else wants to be in it, go right ahead. Um, Basically, that's the whole story about what it was. It was just so stupid that because there's another class's stupidity, we had to be scrutinized down to the smallest detail. And in the end, it didn't matter anyway because we just decided, no, we're not going to do it. It's our yearbook. We're the class of '88. We were the first class to be there for 4 years instead of 3. We didn't get to rule the school until 6 years afterward. I think we'll do it however we want to. Thank you very much. Um, I'd like to thank you all for watching this. And if you do have any questions, you can find me on Facebook almost all the time. Or if you want to leave comments on this video, you can do that right here. So thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.